Hello everybody, welcome to the Kingdoms update for Darkest Dungeon 2. It's here! It's finally here. It's my Christmas. This is a free update for the game. You can get this right now if you happen to have Darkest Dungeon 2, and if you don't have it, luckily you're on the Steam store page, so it's the perfect place for you to go ahead and pick it up. Along with the Abomination DLC, the second paid DLC for the game, introducing, as you might guess, the Abomination character, which I'm very, very happy to play. Or excited to play, I should say. Big thanks to the team, by the way, for sponsoring our look at the Kingdoms update today. There will, of course, be a link down in the description below if you're watching this VOD over on youtube.com/BaerTaffy. I am super excited to check this out. So let's dive right in. We're going to start a brand new Kingdoms run here. My very first one. I've played a little bit of this just to get through the tutorialized elements and kind of familiarize myself with what's generally going on, so yeah, other than that, this is going to be a fresh experience for all of us, so let's do it. Brand new game in the Kingdoms mode. The kingdom teeters on the brink of destruction. New and terrifying forces rally their strength and attempt to seize upon the vulnerable population. Assemble your party, complete the quest, destroy the enemy leader before time runs out. So this is the first of 3 modules planned for the Kingdoms mode. The first one we got today is the Hunger of the Beast Clan. We'll be getting 2 additional ones at some point through 2025, and I can definitely put out a couple of guesses as to what I suspect these are going to be. I'm thinking we may be returning to the Crimson Court fairly soon here, so that's exciting stuff. But anyway, yeah. Let's try it out. Hunger of the Beast Clan, Baer Kingdoms, Steam, test. Yeah, that's good enough. All right, let's do it. In we go. First run. The kingdom is under siege. Bestial horrors stampede through the country in wanton herds. Striking with swift ferocity, they spread chaos, poison, and death as the land trembles to the drumbeat of thundering hooves. Refugees flock to the inns. So on top of a new game mode, of course, we're also getting new wainers, new characters, new enemies, new voice lines. What appear to be even more updates to the animations and just the art in general. Everything just looks a little better, which has just been kind of par for the course as far as these updates go. So excited for that too. We got 3 map selections to choose from this time, and this will obviously be something I can give more consideration to once I'm actually more familiar with what to expect. But I'll just go ahead and go with the last stand to start us off here and see what the default map mode looks like. And we also get a difficulty selection here with some modifiable sections. If the enemy boss is not defeated before this day limit, the kingdom will be overrun. Okay, so that's our win condition. Day 2, or sorry, Escalation 2 arrives on the 15th day, with Escalation 3 on the 33rd. Okay. This setting influences how many sieges spawn to attack the inns. We get the amount of heroes in the kingdom. Starting skills will leave as standard. That's going to be an interesting component to the Kingdoms mode, as well as the fact that all of your skills, all of your progression, all of your paths is all reset for a fresh Kingdoms run. And in fact, normally the Abomination will not be available immediately either. You'll need to complete the confessions for the Abomination in the standard confessions game mode prior to being able to play them in the Kingdoms mode. Thankfully, Red Hook hooked it up today. With the Abomination fully unlocked for us to check out, so that'll be fun. Permadeath heroes. When a hero dies, there are no replacements. That's seeming pretty brutal. And then the in-loss limited 5. All right, well there we go. Let's do it. Pardon me, geez, very first experience with the Kingdoms update. And we get to put together our first party here, it looks like, and also get our first look at a Bigby. Oh yeah, look at this, man. I knew we'd have to spend a couple of minutes here just admiring the 3-dimensional, fully realized rendition of the Abomination. Look at them, man. Oh my goodness. That is a lot of chains. That's... I mean, it's mostly just for dramatic effect, right? I mean, that's not gonna do anything. We just want to see them metal locks pop, apparently. I love the shadow of the proper creature itself in the back, too. That's awesome. Oh, man. So good. All right, well, obviously, he's coming along for the first run here.
Beaten and branded. This vagrant is more dangerous than he seems.
Oh, baby. That's exciting. And of course, given the fact that we have the option to do so now, it definitely feels like I ought to go ahead and bring out a bounty hunter for a full run, right?
He has no past, no future, no mercy.
I can see that, yeah, apparently. Still has to hold the cape himself. You know, buddy, you could just tie that around. I think it might stick okay, but yeah, you do you, I guess. I do want to have Flagellant and Abomination in the same squad at some point too, but we'll roll with these two up front for now, and then we'll go with a pretty standard concoction of
indiscriminate science
companions otherwise.
Hands.
You know, throw in a cultist maybe in the back there. I gotta try to find some name teams with these guys too, man, but this seems like a fine way to start things off. So for those that may be new, brand new to not just Kingdoms, but Darkest Dungeon 2 as a whole, this is the standard experience for composing teams to begin with. When you're on a Confessions run, you'll be in this stagecoach view as well and putting together a team of 4. What's unique about Kingdoms is this is not limiting you to just these 4 characters. You'll actually be using all 13, I want to say, 4, 8, 12, 15. Good lord. Yeah, we're getting up there, man. All 15 characters will be utilized through the course of this Kingdoms campaign. It's just that these will be the 4 that we start out with out of the gate. So, that being said, let's do it. This may seem very familiar to you as well, just launching right into the valley here.
Sacred and sputtering. The last hope for us all.
The differences will become clear very quickly here, though, I assure you. Quick assistance encounter. Nothing crazy. You will notice the symbol up here, of course, has changed as a result of us playing in the Kingdoms mode. It's the first escalation, which means thankfully our heroes get a little bit of a buff. Plus 20% damage and plus 15% max HP, so gonna be feeling pretty good for a little while here at least, but of course that's gonna get worse as we go on, and hopefully we're gonna be able to mitigate the fact that that will worsen by, you know, making progress in our heroes, getting new items and that kind of stuff. So we'll be selecting the occultist option here. When you reach these assistance encounters, you're given options between your companions for what to do or how to interact with them. The little symbols down there give you a general idea of what to expect. This, I believe, is going to be combat items or like usable items, stuff like that. Yeah, so we'll get a couple of smoke bombs and a clarifying poultice out of that, so not too shabby. Moving on. I do have the Steam store chat open here as well, so if you are a new player or just someone interested in what this is all about, feel free to ask questions. I'm sure there will be members of the Baer pile here as well, ready to help you out.
Remains discarded in the midday sun. The hot, sticky smell of
Oh, baby.
rot.
Let me get my face out of the way so you guys can enjoy the combat fully. This will be our first experience with the Beastmen. Let's take a look. The Tribe Walker to start off with. Oh, man. I obviously have been very excited for this update for the Abomination as well to be released, but just this. Like, I am such a big fan of the character art in this game, man. I wear it on my sleeve, obviously, but like, oh my god, look at this guy. Just the pulsing pustules on the left arm there. He's got a very Abomination vibe to him, doesn't he? It makes a lot of sense to me that they released these two things simultaneously. There's the Tribe Walker for you, though. We've got a little breakdown of his skills here as well. And the Huntsman.
Analysis is the natural prelude to action.
I believe the Kingdoms update should be dropping basically any minute here. I did get the early access hookup, but I'm fairly sure it's going to be hitting you know, any moment here.
Observe the subject carefully, and you will discover its weaknesses.
So yeah, there we go. Our first 2 huntsmen. We'll try out our first Abomination skills here as well. Of course, as I mentioned, we're not actually able to utilize all of the skills yet. We're going to be unlocking those as we go through this Kingdoms campaign. So let's take a look at what he's got first. So the Manacles makes a return. That's a familiar one for our DD1 players out there. I really like just seeing like the wind up to the skills as well. Has always been a fun element of things here. The Abomination looking up to the sky, and then this is my favorite, obviously. Just the fact that when you click that button, that happens, man. Oh, that's so cool. That's so cool, dude. I don't have anything intelligent to say about it. It's just like, ah, damn, dude, that's cool as hell. All right, let's give him a backlash. And then Bounty Hunter to start out with here. So we've got the unupgraded versions of these skills for the first time. Typically, the Bounty Hunter is not a character that you're able to bring out for an entire run. In the Confessions game mode for DD2, you're only able to utilize the Bounty Hunter for a single region, and then you have to pay him in candles, which is the meta progression currency for the game, for his services. So it's pretty cool for us to be able to use him for an entire campaign here. That's a fun little mix-up to the formula. I'm not sure if he has paths. That's a good question. I should check into that. See, that'll be working a little bit differently from the way we're used to as well, where normally in the stagecoach we would be able to select paths for our characters. I kind of brushed over that, actually. I'm just now realizing normally we'd be able to do that, but not actually an option immediately anyway. In the Kingdoms mode, that'll be something that we unlock via the in upgrades, which we'll learn quite a bit more about very soon. Oh, that's a great question as well. Yeah, there's a new token here on the Beastmen. Let me take you through the explanation there. So they will become enraged. I believe it is when they attack or when they are attacked. At 3 stacks of enrage, they become berserk. And, well, I mean, we might just see that in a second here, so I'll save you the trouble of me trying to explain it and just show you. And let's go ahead and just do I mean, we might as well transform, right? Obviously, it's not going to be very impactful here, but I just want to show you guys how it looks. So here's the Abom properly transforming for the first time. Again, the shackles are for show, man. Come on, he just wants to bust out of that stuff. You got your typical rake and rage here up front for the Abomination. I think I'm going to try to let this... Well, he's going to stay alive anyway, I guess I was going to say. I want to let him get his berserk off here just so you guys can see what's going on with that. So there's the 3 enrage tokens traded off for a berserk token, which enables powerful skills, fully reduces damage taken, although they are vulnerable to DOT still in this form. But any attempt we make to actually attack them here is going to be essentially fully negated. Oh, right, yeah, I just realized we can attack again with him after we transform.
Excellent work.
Crit for 0. What are you, an occultist? Har, har, har. Okay. Thankfully, we can still debuff him. Flashbang, unfortunately. Ooh, wow. Flashbang unupgraded is actually kind of stinky. Target shuffle and daze is not really going to be doing a lot for us here, so let's just add a combo. Maybe a little bit more helpful. Should get us a better chance of getting this blight applied anyway, so we'll try that. Alright, now we get to see the first berserk action, courtesy of the Beastmen. And Foul Deed, which of course normally would be hitting for a little bit more and also applies a pretty chunky amount of blight there, so there you go.
A righteous action.
Brantex asks, so you unlock the Abomination memories and skills during the Kingdoms mode or only in Confessions? So you'll be unlocking the Abomination stuff the same way that you would with everybody else through a series of Confession runs. That'll allow you to unlock his new skills and paths and all that, or in like the character itself as well.
Bundled into this meager pile.
However, the progress for the skills and paths is reset at the beginning of a new Kingdoms run. So It's essentially unlocking the ability to unlock those things, as they're separate separate metrics, I suppose, in the game's mind. Oh boy. Sorry, I'm kind of. I'm trying to say 3 things at once, basically, in my entire run through this campaign here. Feel free to shout out questions or like hint at things I may have missed, if that's the case. Here's the tribe color, by the way.
What can we learn upon closer inspection?
Definitely my favorite new enemy thus far. Just total badass. Oh, the new currency we got. Right, yeah, okay, I did brush over that, didn't I? I'll show you guys what's going on with that. We're about to get into the inn where we can actually use those anyway, so it'll be easier to describe them once we're actually doing so. All right. So I believe tribe color likes being in the back. So let me see if I can fix that. The goat, indeed. Alright, let's see here. Yeah, you can see back there, the inn has seen better days. The tribesman had something to say about that. That'll be a focal point moving forward here as we attempt to rebuild and restore this place. Now, transform... It's very similar to how things worked in DD1. It's a risk-reward situation. You might think, obviously, you know, his stronger skills are locked behind this ability, so why would you not just do this all the time? There's that little matter of stress down there. You can see whenever we activate this ability, allies gain 1 stress guaranteed and have a chance to gain an additional stress point. So that piles up very, very quickly. And unfortunately on Revert, he only stress heals himself, so it makes a lot of sense to me to try to be a little bit more conservative with those. Especially in fights where we don't necessarily feel like we need the, you know, the additional help here. I am gonna probably need to try to unlock some other occultist skills as well, although it's gonna be, there's a lot of considerations to be made, I'll just say that much. We're gonna get into the first inn here and really take a proper look at what's going on, but there's a lot of different things we need to weigh as far as what the best initial decision is going to be here. There is a lack of stress healing with this team, but thankfully... Oh boy, there's another one of those berserk moves, by the way. I failed to realize he was already on the 3 stacks of Enrage, so that's a particularly nasty one. He's got the AoE with a little bit of stress accumulated as well. Pretty gnarly. But yeah, we'll be ideally addressing the lack of stress healing here with some new characters I was mentioning earlier, but we'll more than likely be utilizing just about every character in the game through the course of our Kingdoms run here. Looks like this guy's got enough bleed to be taking him out, so I don't think I have to worry about that. We've got the mark damage bonus on this guy. Unfortunately, he's out of range for the collect bounty, so I think maybe we'll just go ahead and pull him forward and we'll just take the hit from the riposte. You know, try to anyway. They do get bonus enrage from their fellow huntsmen falling. A little vengeance mechanic going on with them, so I gotta be mindful of that. But there we go. No sweat. Okay. Yeah, not a lot of death armor so far on these guys, but I'm assuming that's because we're, you know, pretty early on here. Inn suffers no damage, by the way, so that's going to be another factor here while we're taking on those fights. That was triggered from entering the inn, by the way, which is another new thing for the Kingdoms mode. Typically, when you reach the end of a region in the Confessions mode, you just enter the inn, and that represents the end of it. But in a lot of these, regions that we'll be going through here, we will have to battle through a few enemies just to access the inn at the end of that region. So we got to be mindful of that as we're going forward here.
However dilapidated, this inn might still serve honorably.
The Beastmen roam unchallenged. To secure the safety of the kingdom, you must complete the quest and slay the leader of the horde before the day limit runs out. All quest steps are communicated on item descriptions. Read them carefully. So this was very exciting to me when I realized they were doing it this way. The Crusader that was released as part of the first paid DLC for this game a little while back, the Binding Blade, you unlock that character via what I thought was a really fun continuous quest that you had to complete through the course of a campaign. It involved like collecting quest items like this and utilizing them in certain ways, looking for specific encounters, and I thought to myself as I was doing this, like, this could be a whole thing in this game. It seems like a perfectly functional mechanic to just, like, you know, like, expand on and do for other characters. And that seems like exactly what's happening here, which makes me very happy. So we start out here with the spyglass, a stagecoach item that we'll have to equip in order to proceed. But like it said, we also need to pay attention to what it's saying in the item description, because it's not directly telling us what to do, but if we pay attention, it might as well be. So it says, we must anticipate the herd's movement. An elevated vantage point would afford us a look at the beast's path. So, players unfamiliar with Darkest Dungeon, obviously, I'm not looking to you to immediately know what this is referring to, but I think the DD2 players out there probably have an idea in mind of what we're supposed to do with this thing. So we'll go ahead and take that. We're going to be equipping that on the stagecoach, and it looks like Chen gained a quirks. We'll see what that's going to be. Oh boy. Do we have slimes already? I haven't seen any slimes yet. Okay, that could be interesting. Chthonian Slayer? I don't even know how to say that word, man. Alright, cool. Well, we'll take that. And now we get our first look at the map.
Let us face the coming cruelties undaunted.
I'm not actually sure, Rainbow, what happens if you don't complete it in the day limit or you locked out on that save file. I believe that would just represent, like, a loss, and I think that would mean just, like, this campaign would be done and, you know, have to move on to the next one. Pretty much just a win and loss condition, I think. Look at this map, though, man.
Our adversaries grow bold. Punish them for it.
Just want to give this a once-over here to appreciate the artwork once more. The overhead view with, like, kind of a fog of war going on as you mouse over things like this. That's pretty fun. So yeah, this is our kingdoms map. And we've got our little indicator up here to show us where the stagecoach actually is. There's several icons on this map that you're probably very curious about. So let's start going over these right now. Beginning with our little character profiles. So all of the party members are involved in this campaign, as I've mentioned a couple of times. It's just they're not all immediately available to us. You can see they're actually kind of scattered across this entire area. We've got the Hellion down here, we've got the Duelist over here in the Forgotten Home, we've got the Jester down here in the Fleet Florin. So we're going to be trying to utilize these characters as best we can to defend the homestead, essentially, to protect, pardon me, to protect the inns and the other areas of interest that we might be interested in defending here. But it is not as easy as we would like to involve those characters that way. The primary way you'll be doing it is to be moving them by sending them on a swift horse, which we'll do by holding down the left click here and then just selecting which region we want them to go to. So moving one region is free, aka there's no penalty to it. Sorry, hold on, I'm trying to remember. There we go. And then the 2 region penalty is there is fatigue added, and there's also a chance for other negative effects. Fatigue is another mechanic, by the way, that we'll go over more once it reveals itself again here. But essentially it just means that the characters you use through the course of the Kingdoms campaign will get more and more tired as you go, and you'll have to give them a chance to rest up and swap some other folks in, which is another really great way to allow you to utilize all the characters in the same campaign. So yeah, you got the Vestal over here. all scattered around, and it's not necessary, I think, just yet for us to start moving folks all about. I don't necessarily know where the action is going to be just yet, and especially while we can see that the Forgotten Home is actually under siege at the moment, as you can see by this icon and also by clicking on the inn itself. We more than likely want to keep some folks defending that if we can. And I'm wondering, in fact, if maybe we can send a Hellion there now. Let's take a look. Oh, that's blocked off by... Okay, so it looks like in order to get between regions, we may actually have to go through and clear these areas ourselves. You can see, of course, the type of region that it will be by mousing over, and obviously you can probably tell just by the look of things for a lot of them as well. But, new region, by the way, that we'll be going through here in the Kingdoms mode, the Tundra. And very curious to see what kind of enemies we're going to be seeing in there. In fact, that's going to be happening very soon, it looks like. So there's the overview for the Kingdoms map. I believe we'll be just heading to this camp here, but before we do so, let me go ahead and get you back to the Provisioners so you can get an idea of what's changed here as well. So this is a new material unique to the Kingdoms mode called In Materials. You're going to be using these a lot. There's quite a bit of value in these guys. Well, first of all, let's do this.
Improvement, a new variable in the equation of your fate.
Certainly don't want to forget this one. So in order to progress the Hunger of the Beast clan, we have to have this equipped to the stagecoach. So I'm going to go ahead and put that on right now.
Any advantage is a good thing.
And then back to the Provisioner.
Spend what you can, for wealth no longer has meaning.
This is pretty standard stuff for anybody that's played the game, but again, just for folks that may be new. Typically in inns, you will be given the opportunity to purchase goods from the Provisioner, who has anything from combat items to inn items to improve your relationships with your companions, to stagecoach gear, which you can use to increase the effectiveness of the coach in things like location scouting and storage and that stuff. Trinkets as well, which are just straight up statistical bonuses for the most part for our characters, which none of these seem particularly appealing. But the other big thing that we're going to be doing in the inns now is the inn upgrades, which is what you use these inn materials for. So this is a lot. So let's just break it down section by section here very, very quickly, so you just have a general understanding of what's going on with this. But this is going to be one of the focal points of any Kingdoms run. This is going to be where a lot of your strength and potential to succeed is derived from. These inn materials can be used to unlock different upgrades here at the inns, whether that be barracks, the Provisioner, the Mastery Trainer, the Wainwright, and the Physician. Respectively, the barracks will just be increasing the effectiveness of your inns themselves. In fact, these first two unlocks that you can see have already been provided for this inn will award us 2 conscript fighters and 2 conscript arbalisters in siege defenses. I haven't actually seen what this does yet, but I have to imagine having some backup units is going to be pretty convenient for situations like that. And then Signal Flare can appear in the shop, which I don't think I've seen that either, but that's pretty interesting. Fighters will start sieges with a vague trinket. Arbalisters will start sieges with a vague trinket. So we could click and hold down if we wanted to unlock any of those. We can upgrade those to partisans, which, you know, I'm not extremely familiar with either, but sounds pretty fun. And then there's upgrades like this to the Provisioner, which will allow for distant trinkets and additional stagecoach items to appear in the shop. Just this shop, I believe, by the way. So that's one of the more important things to consider, as far as I can tell, when you're wondering what to utilize these inn materials on initially. Because if I understand it correctly, these upgrades will only be applied to this inn.
Each day brings new obstacles and new opportunities.
Which means we won't be able to access and utilize those upgrades should we not decide to return up that way. I think, I'm not 100% sure I'm understanding that correctly, but I'm fairly sure that's how it works, meaning we should probably consider moving down further before spending too many of the inn materials, and that way, maybe in something like the Rich Patrician, for example, we'd be able to get a couple of upgrades that we can maybe return to later and utilize again. And then, of course, another consideration we need to make looking at the map here is the fact that we want to get over to the siege as quickly as possible. I'm not sure if we'll actually be able to reach this one in time, but that's definitely going to motivate me as far as where to send the stagecoach next. Right, anyway. That would be the provisioner upgrades there to get those combat in items, trinkets, and all that kind of stuff. Mastery trainer, pretty straightforward. This unlocks the ability to unlock new skills as well as master skills, which, if I'm going to upgrade anything early on here, it would more than likely be that, but I do think we'll probably be well off enough with our default stuff with this team to where we could save these in materials and try to improve this in a little further down the road. Wainwright's going to allow us to reduce the cost of stagecoach repairs. This coach, you'll notice, has these wheels and armor stats, which are impacted by obstructions in the roadway. So every now and then you'll run across like a rough road or an obstruction that damages your shielding on the coach, and you'll just have to keep that in mind as you're progressing here. And then the final one, the physician, will allow us to cure disease, along with reducing fatigue, removing negative quirks, which are these things here that you can see on our creatures that they will acquire every now and then, depending on their encounters with enemies and interactions with nodes. We have Chthonian Slayer and Chthonian Hater on our Bounty Hunter, which I didn't realize until now, so he's going to be looking for a lot of swine and slime if he can, which I guess means we should hit the fetter if possible. So yeah, there we go. That's the gist of our in upgrades here with those materials. And let's go ahead and take a look at the relationships page while we're here as well, so you can see what's going on with that in the Kingdoms mode. So, as mentioned, everybody's involved here, and as a result, everybody wants to be friends. You're going to be managing the entire party's relationships here, and might even inform whether or not you bring certain folks along. But yeah, it's going to be a little more involved in this respect now. And let's see. I suppose we want to go ahead and feed these guys since we're moving out again. We got some stale bread for them. New combat item here, by the way, the Huntsman's Hatchet, which is going to be doing direct damage, along with removing a positive token and lowering their blight resist. So that's a pretty sweet one. Adds a weakened token too, actually, so that's a really nice new combat item there. Okay. Obviously not in fantastic shape here, but I think we want to go ahead and move forward. Can't actually use the mastery trainer here either as a result of not having unlocked that capability via the in upgrades. So we'll just hang on to those for now. I think that's us moving forward. So let's go ahead and go back to the kingdom map. Oh, right, yeah, one more thing I wanted to do here is you can see that the highwayman is actually here. So I think that means we can swap him in. I could have sworn I was doing that somehow. Oh, that's right. Yeah, this little button here. So if we would like, we could swap out, let's swap out the Plague Doctor, yeah. And let's get Dismas in the mix.
Rested, energized. A new ally for the Outriders.
So there you go. So the fatigue is a factor here. I'm trying to remember exactly where you saw that condition. I'm not sure, in fact, they are maybe even fatigued yet. But that will be a factor that you'll have to consider as you're moving on here. You'll want to swap out more fatigued party members for those that are rested and ready to rock as often as possible, given the effects that that'll have. I believe it just gets incrementally worse as well, so it's always got to be mindful of that. And with only one option here, we'll go ahead and just move forward to this camp. Let's do it. Set the route.
The farms and fields of our kingdom.
And of course, you can see what kind of region we'll be going through here as well. But, yeah. Once you've set your intended destination, all that's left is to rest and get there. Thankfully, no relationship interactions yet, but I just want to take a second yet again for those that may be new to the game and just appreciate what is easily one of my favorite bits of art in Darkest Dungeon. These embark screens, man, so damn cool. Look at these guys. Look at this squad, man, ready to rock. Hell yeah. Let's do it. to the Foetor we go.
The rancid crop grows unchecked and abhorrent.
All right, so I was a little coy about it, but if we look here at this description again, we must anticipate the herd's movement. An elevated vantage point would afford us a look at the beast's path. All right, so all the DD2 players in Steam chat here with me. What would be an elevated vantage point? Of all the things on the map, of all the nodes you get to, say it with me now. Ready? Watchtower! Yeah, that's right. You got it. So let's go to the Watchtower. Safe route there, too, which is nice. Quick look at the map. Again, in case you're new, haven't seen this yet, this will give you a breakdown of what to expect, and then you give it a region you go to. There's little nodes indicating what kind of encounters that will be taking place there.
And lament.
The Watchtower, one of the nicer nodes to reach early on, as it provides us with excellent information about the remainder of the region. Of course, this is a pretty small region, so it's not going to give us a lot of info, but that did progress the Hunger of the Beast Clan quest, as you can see. So the Watchtower provided us the perspective we needed. A hastily scrawled representation of the view from the Watchtower. It must be studied. A deliverable, meaning that we need to take it to the inn in order to progress the quest further. So for now, it's just a standard region. And I'm thinking we probably want to go ahead and try to take a couple of resistance encounters here. It makes a lot of sense to try to get some more in items, or sorry, in materials.
A welcome reprieve.
And combat is one of the very few ways in which you can get mastery points, and eventually we will be spending those to upgrade our skills and make us a little bit better off. That's a new item, it looks like. Rumor. What the heck? Enjoy the view. Don't forget to look under the loose floorboard. Okay. Weird. You know what? I gotta go ahead and equip those combat items as well while I've got them. All right, looking good. Got our highwayman in the mix for the first time here. Let's see how they do. The plague eaters. And I think we want to take this combat. Yeah, we'll have to take a bit of a relationship hit here. Oh, my bad. My face disappeared. We'll have to take a bit of a relationship hit here. The Highwayman and Abomination disagreeing on the course of action. Our old Foetor friends are back. Whoa! Oh! This is new. Look at this. Look at this little button up here. We have a retreat ability now. Very interesting. I wonder if that's going to be an all combat or if it's just maybe like normal or like resistant combat encounters. Okay, cool. Alright, so we got the Highwayman back. He's got a little bit of positional shifting early on, although unfortunately without all of his skills unlocked, it may be a bit of a risk to go for that duelist advance, so we'll just go ahead and start slicing. Just start slicing them up here, buddy. There you go. That's one down.
On to the next.
And I'll yoink you forward to clear that corpse so you don't get to eat it. I know how much you love eating those, buddy. And then no utilization for the combo for the Abomination early on here, is there? So I suppose I'll just go ahead and put a block on myself and call it a day. Retreat in my darkest dungeon? I know. Certainly we will never be so cowardly as to click this button, but hey, at least it's nice to have the choice. Some strong damage out of the gate here, of course. Big thanks to our Escalation 1 providing us plus 20% damage across the board to all heroes. That's not always going to be the case, though. A little Baer optimal there, a little Baer optimal, no worries. Duelist advance, get him back in the correct position here. A little riposte, too, why not? Can we see the beast? Well, this is a dinner Carl, or sorry, a dinner cart. We call him dinner Carl, affectionately. This is a plague eater, though, actually, so this is not a new enemy. This is a staple of the Foetor here. Combo. Oh. Okay, so again, we probably don't want to necessarily transform with the Abomination in situations like this if we can help it. We want to try to prevent as much stress being accrued as possible early on here, so we'll just go ahead and let them do things the old-fashioned way. Another Baer optimal on the board, damn. And of course, stress is going to be a bit of an issue early on. That's the, again, for newer players. I feel the need to clarify for old viewers that I'm not explaining new concepts for them. I know you know. Just for the Steam store folks, in case they're wondering about the stress mechanic here, which is what that what those white pips are underneath each character. So each character has a stress limit of 10, stress often being applied either by events, sometimes randomly on the road as well. Characters will talk to each other and get stressed out, but primarily it comes from combat. And there are often skills that you can use to reduce stress in combat. Sadly, none of the characters that we have right now, besides the Abomination, who's able to remove some stress on himself, have that ability. So we're going to be looking for characters that are capable of doing so, hopefully sooner than later. Alright, let's see. We got another positive interaction between the Abomination and the Occultist here. The Bounty Hunter doesn't like this one. It's interesting to have the Bounty Hunter care about relationships all of a sudden. Guess he got lonely. I want to make some friends. Alright, getting aggressive with the combat this time around. Let's see if we can, you know, let's just go ahead and pull Big Boy forward, I think. Great question, Royan. Yeah, I probably should have finished that thought there, shouldn't I? What happens if you have too much stress? So if they reach that threshold of 10 stress, they'll get what's called a resolve check. And odds are very strong that the result of that resolve check will be a meltdown, which will bring them to, I believe it's 10 or 15% HP, and often will give them a negative quirk as well. So you want to avoid that. It's real bad. But there's also a very small chance when that happens, when you reach that stress threshold, that you will get what is called a resolute resolve check. Meaning that your character decided, not this one, not today. And they will heal to fully remove their stress, and often get a positive quirk as well. So that wasn't always the case. In fact, in the earliest versions of Darkest Dungeon 2, there was no such thing as resolute. It was all meltdowns. And they changed that to be more in line with the first game. In my opinion, that was a very good decision. A, because I like being carried by resolute characters, and B, because it's just more fun. It's just a lot more fun to have the chance at a character, you know, like becoming the RPG hero and saving the day, which has happened to us on more than one occasion, so yeah, it's really fun. Oh, that's another good point, too. Yeah, the other negative factor from the meltdowns is the relationship hits. So if you have a meltdown, they will trigger a -2 to all relationships with party members that are in the combat with them. So yeah, meltdowns are really bad. Right, okay. Through the first couple encounters there. Not sure. I don't think we should expect a final fight here. I'm pretty sure those only happen at the inns? Yeah. So this is just a standard campsite. So we won't have the full suite of available options to us this time, but we will be able to rest at least.
A crackling fire and the company of friends. Blessings both.
Alright, so here we can see the party has become a little bit more fatigued. We've moved on to day 2. You can see the healing effect to all of the party members currently resting there as well. Curious to see. Looks like they're still under siege over here. Nothing appears to have changed all that much. I kind of want to try I wonder if I could send... Well, you know, actually, we could just go to the Man-at-Arms here, couldn't we, actually? In fact, that's probably what we're going to be doing. Oh, you know what I should have done? I'm just now realizing. We should have sent the Vestal and the Flagellant over here to this camp so that we could possibly switch them out when we got there. What we can do now... Oh, I don't think I could have done that, actually, right? I think the Tundra's blocking the way. Or is it? No, I think she could have done it. Yeah, okay. What I can do now is I can send the Vestal down there.
Anticipate, adapt, and reposition.
And then I can send the Flagellant down here. And that way, regardless of which direction I go, I have another character available.
Travel on foot is not without risk.
That we could swap out to. I think they are going to be there, yeah. In fact, if I do this now, there they are. Look at that. It's fun, isn't it? I like this scene a lot, yeah. This is reminiscent of the old DD1 campfire shots. Just the vibes, man. And the wolves howling in the background, all the leaves falling down behind them. That's terrific. Big fan of this. Yeah, I don't believe there's anybody that we could be swapping out right now, right? Yeah, because there's nobody currently stationed in this place. Also did not get the hand-drawn map effect yet because we have to deliver this to an inn. So that will pretty much do it.
Who remains come morning? Who numbers among the fallen?
The locals have scraped together a donation to the cause. Okay, so if we're able to visit the rich patrician, we'll get this benefit from that. Certainly want to try to grab the Man-at-Arms here as well, so let's do it. Set round.
The last remnants of the great dissolution cling stubbornly to these icy peaks.
Should definitely go ahead and equip these trinkets as well. It's actually a pretty nice pair here for the Abomination. So the Sacrificial Host will be giving us some additional Blight Resist, which you can see over here. And then the Hint of Home has a small chance to add regen when he is hit. So that ought to be pretty nice. And that'll do it. Stockpiling our inn materials. Very curious to see what this rumor is going to do. So, let's go find out. And into the Tundra. Our first experience with this new region. Let's do it. So, of course, this area is going to feel pretty familiar to the DD2 players again. It feels a lot like just an extension of the approach to the final chapter bosses. I think we've even gone on record as being like, this should just be its own region. And that is essentially what they've done here. So, that's pretty sick. Shambler's Altar, huh? That sounds like a terrible idea. That sounds like a great way to end my Kingdoms run early. Let's not do that. That is a super boss of sorts. They call it a mini boss, but it's been really good at kicking my butt lately. Another mini boss over there on the right side, actually, in the form of the Chirurgeon's table. So that is that's gonna be a pretty easy. We're going left for me.
Safe passage along this stretch. A welcome reprieve.
Normally, I'd be all about the content. Yeah, you know me, but we've got like a strong need right now to not let this run end before the first hour is up. I'm gonna try and keep these folks alive here. Vestigial Entropy. Interesting. I don't want this one, but sorry, y'all. I have to disagree. Send it. Stress is very quickly becoming a problem here. We haven't even transformed the Abomination yet, and that's still a big issue right now. Let's see. Alright, so we've got our cultist enemies for the first time here. Thankfully not ordained anymore. I've been dealing with a lot of empowered enemies lately in our Confessions campaigns, and it's nice to see them in just their standard form here. Let's go for you first, considering the front rank one is already blinded and maybe less effective.
Trammeled, trapped, held captive by fear.
The BaerTaffy I know ate shamblers for breakfast. We'll fight one, I swear. All right. Oh, if another one shows up, we'll fight it. How about that? That's always the trade I make, and then the game immediately presents me with another shambler pretty much every time that I say that. So look forward to me dying in 15 minutes. Let's see here. You are so much less effective without your good skills, buddy. I'm finding that about quite a few of the people we're utilizing right now. Very grateful for that blind token again. Blinds across the board. Nice resist there from the occultist at least. I definitely think I should pull this guy forward again. It's very helpful to get the evangelist enemies in ranks 3 and 4, and that way they cannot do their intended moves.
Is the natural prelude to action.
They are essentially forced into using the Rush Judgment ability you can see down there in the 4th slot, which is significantly worse than their other stuff. The flame does have, I believe this is just the standard flame effect. It's been so long since I've done a standard flame run, but I'm pretty sure this is just the effects that you would get from normal bright light. So yeah, it's the standard considerations there. Oh, that was I don't know why I did that actually. That was silly. I think you're dead though. Bye-bye, buddy. We're kind of crossing our fingers that we can, oh boy, yeah, that's the opposite of what I was going to say there. I was going to say, kind of hoping that we can get some crits ourselves to reduce some of the stress up front, but that's going to be easier said than done, of course. And these two are going to be cycling back and forth on the Rush Judgment, ideally, which means I am very happy to go ahead and just backlash here, although that does have a knockback potentially, I guess, so... I mean, actually, you know what? I could do Absolution here. Our first Absolution to just go ahead and bring the Abomination stress down, at least. That's something. At least one person taking care of it. Alrighty, let's see here. Manacles yet again. I mean, you're already in the front, so works well enough, I guess. Abyssal's fine here. Get a little range damage. Hit both 3rd and 4th rank with that one. The bomb, I was just gonna say, I was kind of crossing my fingers he could get into a little bit of regen there from getting hit so much. Now we'll get the armor break. So this is one of our first instances of death armor that we've seen. So this is a mechanic in the game to add a little extra difficulty to some enemies. Instead of being able to kill them immediately on hitting 0 HP, you'll have to break through the death armor first, which protects against a single death blow for each rank of it. But now that we've gotten through that on this one, should be able to finish it off easy peasy. There we go.
A lesson taught is a lesson learned.
They added pips to your life bar for DOT. They sure did! I didn't even notice that. Good on you. Oh, that's not what that is. That's the fatigue. Ah, yes. Okay, so I was anticipating this revealing itself in some sort of UI presentation, and there it is. So this is how the fatigue works, I guess, where you can see a visual indication of how much HP they would have otherwise, and then how much max HP I believe they have now as a result of that. However, he appears to be at a higher level of HP than that threshold, so I wonder if that's... I guess we'll have to pay attention to how that's working, because I don't think that's actually going to be functioning exactly that way. Now that you mention it, though, yeah, it would be kind of nice to have pips indicating the DOT, wouldn't it? Or at least like have that be like a toggleable effect. That'd be fun. Yeah, we'll just have to pay attention to how that's actually affecting things here. This is HP below 50%, so he's basically there. Yeah, that's my assumption in this is that it's going to be a max HP effect. Ooh, I shouldn't have done that. I should have tried to get the knockback instead. Might have been able to get her in the 3rd rank for one more round. Okay, so I believe he's able to heal himself now. There we go. It might actually be, you know, I think it's the fact that the Highwayman hasn't taken any damage yet is maybe why he's over that threshold. I'm wondering if we can try to heal somebody up, and then we'll see whether or not that actually allows it to progress beyond that point. Ooh, here we go. This is fun. So this is our first utilization of execution here in our Kingdoms campaign. So execution gives you the ability to defeat enemies through a level of death armor per level of execution you have. For example, 1 death armor versus 1 execution results in that. Excellent. And that'll do. Easy peasy for the squad. And some good stress heals actually there in the Abomination that time, so that worked out pretty well. I'm also very excited to see the Catacombs. Yeah, I'm not sure we're going to be seeing it in this campaign, but definitely looking forward to checking that out.
Scavenge what you can, and be off once more.
Pine cones. A rich, earthy scent, a memory of hearth and home. These are new. They're just baubles, but it's fun that there's a new kind of bauble, too. I've noticed they've been very generous with the mastery points early on as well, which does make sense given the fact that it's a little bit harder to actually use those now. Alright, cool. Let's see. So I was going to try to see if the fatigue shows up in any way in this... Oh, here we go. It is max HP lowered. Okay, that's what I figured. Station a hero at an inn or seek medical attention to recover. So it looks like that might affect other stats too?
An elementary problem, is it not?
It looks as though maybe a higher percentage level of fatigue might impact other stats, but we'll see. Okay, let's go... Let's go to the left just so you guys can see an example. Well, I guess we'll see one on the right, won't we, too, won't we?
See the debris ahead? That is where they'll make their move.
We can see one after the combat here, but I just wanted to show you guys an example of what a rough patch looks like so you can see the stagecoach wheel damage.
Lost souls of a dying world, empty of hope and humanity.
Alright, some typical zombos this time around, no sweat. Should be easy peasy. Come on up here. And let's go ahead and do this properly for the first time here. Abomination transformation! Oh, and everybody's real stressed out, but couldn't help myself.
Well done.
Oh, yeah. That's my guy. Finish him off. 2 down, love to see it.
Straightforward and effective.
Immediately regret that. our stress situation is real bad. Oh, man. But, oh, God, he's such a badass. I wonder if... I bet on his upgraded transform... Let's take a look here. That does not change anything. That's weird. I bet transforming from human to beast has an impact. But it's kind of interesting that he doesn't have any change to the other version of that. What he can do here, though, is just go ahead and stress heal and add a regen. And then also do an additional attack. He's very good at managing his own stress, which is really nice. It's always great to have characters that are, you know, just able to basically negate the effects. Oh, I believe it's time now. Yeah, I think I got a little excited earlier, but I believe it's finally public release time now, so go crazy. Enjoy, y'all. It's Darkest Dungeon Christmas morning.
The unrelenting
Go
application
forth
of
and slay the Beastmen.
morbid gains.
Some more in-materials there, more pine cones, yippee. It definitely makes a lot of sense to me to try to take as many resistance encounters and as many combats as you can in these early days. Build up your stockpile of in-materials and hopefully be able to increase the effectiveness of the provisioners that are going to be more, you know, centrally located. What do y'all got? Oh, that's interesting. What is that symbol? I don't know what... I've never seen that one before. Let's find out what that does.
Abandoned or forgotten.
Oh, it's in
It is
materials.
ours now.
Nice. Yeah. That's great. Okay, thank you, assistance encounter. So we got plenty of those now. What are we looking at here? We got 96 in materials.
Chaos must be met with unwavering resolve.
Dang, dude. Okay. All right, here's a rough patch, by the way, which the coach had a really hard time with that one. Jeez. But, yeah, normally that'll just rough you up a little bit, and that'll lose you one of these wheels tokens, which ideally we'll be able to repair very quickly here in the provision.
Your path lies through them, and so they must fall.
And yet again, they're trying to get away. Our relationships are hurting a lot right now, unfortunately. I might have to try to find some help for that from the provisioner coming up here. I'm beginning to think maybe we just go ahead and force a couple of meltdowns here in anticipation of them happening anyway. And if that's going to be the case, I might as well go ahead and utilize my guy with the transformation. But then again, doing everybody at once, oh, that seems like a bad idea. Tell you what, let's utilize our combat items here. How about that? So this is, I think, going to be the first time we use one of the combat items we've equipped, which is going to be this slot here on all of our characters. They each have an available combat item slot, should you find some. We're going to use this smoke bomb, which has a chance to apply 2 blind tokens to an enemy depending on their debuff resist, which, as you can see down there in the bottom right, the Evangelist doesn't have that much, so hopefully this will work out. Nice. All right, that'll help a lot with her early on. While she has regen, I think it's probably best for us to try to focus on the other characters. So let me get the manacles and see if I can pull the Herald forward. What happens if you lose all your wheels? Good question. If you lose all of your wheels and or all of your shields on the stagecoach, the next time that you come across one of those nodes, you will enter a repair battle, which is also bad news. Repair battles, oh, here's our first meltdown as well, by the way, so that'll be the stress cleared out, but him brought down to about 10% HP, big relationship hit across the board, and then thankfully avoided the negative quirk that time, but yeah, that was pretty nasty. Let me pull this guy forward again. Anyway. Yeah, repair battles are much like normal battles, except one person each round, instead of being able to take a normal action, will be forced to repair the coach. So it's kind of like playing 3-on-4. Terrified quirk, by the way. Yeah, this is the stress finally coming up to bite us now. So that was a massive HP loss on those two, along with, unfortunately, the terrified quirk for Dismas now. So he's going to get a chance to start combat with Horror, which is this little icon right here, by the way, that I failed to acknowledge earlier. So anytime that a character has the Horror, it gives them a 75% chance to acquire 1 stress point at the start of their turn, which doesn't sound like a lot, but definitely adds up a lot quicker than you'd think. Let's get numbers here. Anytime we can take an enemy down is a good call, in my opinion. And then we have our 1 source of healing on this squad at the moment, besides the Abomination self-heal in the form of the weird reconstruction. We'll see if we can help these guys out with this. It's always a dice roll with the occultist whether or not you're going to be able to get an effective heal out of him, as he can absolutely heal for 0 and also bleed your teammates. So, fortunate result there, at least. And I mean, now that we've got the stress a lot lower, it might just be transform time. I was kind of anticipating this anyway, so I might as well go ahead and force it while I've got a little bit more control over things. Oh, but that's bad. Oh, God. Ugh. This is what I get. Yikes, dude. Minus 20% max health, weaken and vulnerable on combat start, and removes a positive token on turn start. One of the worst negative quirks in the game. That is devastating. So we're more than likely going to want to leave the bounty hunter on the bench moving forward here. He's going to be having a bad time until I can figure out a way to remove that negative quirk. Oh, buddy. You poor, poor thing. Trying to get rid of this altar as quickly as we can here before they possibly apply another regen to the evangelist up front. Let's see if I can help out the bounty hunter here as well. Yeah, that'll happen. That'll happen with the occultist. Let's see, your bleed's not that bad, thankfully. You're still blinded here, so I suppose... we'll roll the dice. Alright. I think it actually might be the worst quirk in the game, yeah. If not, I'd say it's competing for it. It's up there, man. Alright, thankfully it looks like we should be able to get out of here still, even though obviously that was a less than desirable outcome so far. The cultists just trying to keep us squeaking by here, and then I guess we just keep slicing. We're gonna have to deal with a pretty big crit from her up front, which I wonder, oh yeah, Flashbang's not gonna do it. We can weaken her though, actually. In fact, this removes the crit. And, well, was trying to weaken her anyway. That certainly seems worthwhile, though. Good use of the combat item there again. That might have even saved the bounty hunter's life, actually. Good on you, buddy. Okay, and then a Wicked Slice has a small chance of getting the execute. Oh, that's rough. Not only does that mean we missed the execute there, but she's going to have to take 2 more hits despite being on 1 HP. That's unfortunate. And then the blind up here, too, which means I think we'll tell you what. We can probably go ahead and transform back down now. I don't think we're too worried about the remainder of this one. Then we'll just go ahead and try the backlash there, too. Unfortunate. If only he had his execute skill unlocked. Thankfully, we can hit her, which will result in the armor break, which triggers the weaken tokens. And, okay, it looks like she's not going to be going for the attack anyway, so that works out. Okay, good stuff. We got another blind here, which means I think I'd rather take the heal. This is an option when your characters are very low on HP, is instead of using an attack, you can pass the turn to heal, but that also adds a little bit of stress. I'm wondering if that's the right play here. I think I'd rather just take a chance on the blind shot. Another unfortunate result there. It looks like I should probably let the bounty hunter finish off the evangelist. That was a great heal, by the way. Thank you very much, occultist, for that. And then, oh, she's got her damn death armor back. I didn't even notice that. When the heck did you do that? All right, well, that'll do it at least. I'll have to deal with another crit from her. Finally threw all the dang dodges on these guys. Really hoping we can get at least one more decent heal out of this. That'll effectively negate the bleed, I suppose. Yeah, good enough. Oh man, yeah, rough sledding here, dude, but that'll do. I suppose that's kind of the risk we're taking in doing so much combat early on, isn't it? That makes sense. Get another mastery point there, though, and more in materials. Let's go. That'll work, man. Yeah, while I'm thinking about it, another big thanks, by the way, to Red Hook for sponsoring our Look at the Kingdoms update today. It's a free update for Darkest Dungeon 2. This is all free! This whole mode, man. If you have the game, you have this. You just gotta download an update. You don't gotta pay a dime. Crazy. Beastkin, the first module, of course, the one we're playing now, but there will be 2 more free updates at some point through the course of 2025 for 2 new modules for Kingdoms. Huge find here, by the way, the Jinx. We got Shattered Will, which is one of the worst quirks in the game, but then we got the Jinx on Bigby, one of the best quirks in the game. Has a chance to apply either a blind, weaken, vulnerable, or combo token to any attackers. Really nice.
Hardships be damned. The day is upon us.
The fire rises here for day 3. Titan pyres burned high in the darkness last night, the haunting sound of ritual intonation waking many from their slumber. The night air was thick with the sickly scent of incense and burning flesh. There was no doubt among the gentle folk of the region the enemy was appealing to its hateful deities, seeking the strength to destroy us. Enemies add 1 positive token on combat start in the Tangle.
Destruction threatens us once more.
We have another siege over here where the runaway's at. Black Cat's talent. Okay. Pardon me. Well, I gotta assume that the siege over here is more pressing, given that it has been happening since we began. Definitely want to spend some in materials in the Rich Patrician here as well. Not to mention we're going to go ahead and swap out the Man-at-Arms, I think, for our Bounty Hunter, who has seen better days, unfortunately. So let's go ahead and do that now.
Rested, energized. A new ally for the Outriders.
Oh, and here we go. Ambulance designation. The coach is authorized to carry medical practitioners and supplies. Seek out field medics and merchants with a surplus of goods and deliver both to a besieged inn. Okay. So that immediately makes me think we need to find a hospital, and we need to find a hoarder, and we more than likely need the resources to purchase whatever we need from them, meaning either relics or baubles, meaning we should probably be a little bit more conservative about how we spend that stuff here, but I assume we're probably pretty free to use these in materials. But let's head to the Wainwright first, just to make sure we equip this.
Improvement, a new variable in the equation of your fate.
Now here's where we would be repairing the coach. Unfortunately, these repairs are fairly costly right now. I don't know if it's necessarily worth it to spend the 12 baubles bringing our wheels back up to full strength. Especially, as I mentioned, while we might need to have as many of those resources as possible on hand. Apparently, the rumor was not meant to be delivered here, which is very interesting to me. It says, don't forget to look under the loose floorboard. Also says, enjoy the view, which makes me... Oh, there's a picture of a watchtower on there, too. I didn't even notice that. Okay, so it looks like we have to go back to a watchtower to activate whatever this rumor is. So we'll have to look out for one of those. Let's see here. We can see the little fatigue markers on these guys as well. It would make a lot of sense to try to swap out our occultist at some point soon here. It's very clear to me that we're going to need to try to manage our extra characters better.
Who numbers among the fallen?
To try to allow for suitable replacements to be available when we need them. Speaking of which, I wonder if maybe I want to send... I think I want to send my flagellant here. Because I assume if I'm going to be going back over this way, it's going to be down through this area. Because I think what I'm going to do is go down like this and then come around. And assuming the siege is still occurring over in Black Cat's Talon, I would probably want to head that way. And yeah, I suppose that's the play for now. This game has such an insane amount of love and attention to it. This is remarkable for a free update, man. This is free. I know they're paying me right now, but I would be, like, gushing about this with the same level of enthusiasm even if that weren't the case, man. Like, it's insane to me that this is a fully free update. That's so cool. Alright, anyway. I don't think we're going to be fixing the coach here, so let's go ahead and go over to the inn upgrades. And I think we will turn this guy into a mastery expert. So let's do exactly that.
Supply lines and swords. This is how wars are won.
Oh, and now we can change the paths. Nice, yeah, let's do that too. I wonder if that costs relics
Victory
still.
cannot be achieved without investment. And
Can upgrade
infrastructure.
hero stats. Really? Interesting. Stationed heroes gain 5% crit. That's pretty cool. Change to... Ah, yeah, hero paths still cost relics. Okay. And then they can be reduced even further. And then additional offense-focused item options can appear in the shop. Cool. Okay. Okay. Interesting. I did think I should probably also go for a physician here. Although I'm curious to see... Okay, so the treatment library is locked behind a couple levels of improvement here. It feels like we're probably... Like, kind of the way it looks as though it is intended to be utilized is to build specialties in specific places and just know that that's where you need to go should you need those things. For example, I think this should be our mastery station, and then possibly in the inn that is below us or over to the right, We could turn that into a physician one. We could maybe, like, make a better provisioner somewhere to try to find some better gear. I think I like that approach, so let's try upgrading the hero stats here, just out of curiosity. And then, I guess, honestly, this is fine, too. Station heroes gain 5% crit. We are going to leave someone behind here, so works for me. And I'm just curious to see what this looks like. Let's do it. What is this? Arriving at this inn gains 1 mastery point. Adjacent regions have double resistance encounter scouting, and adjacent regions' heroes gain strength at the start of resistance encounter combat. Yo! An inn capstone. Cool. Okay. We'll go ahead and get these two as well. Well, one, I guess. Alright, so, yeah. Got the training grounds, which is, I guess, the case for all of these. We can have the stables. Enemies gain weakened and vulnerable at the start of road combat is pretty cool. Heroes have less DOT received. That's awesome. Oh, man, these adjacency bonuses are really cool. Yeah. Yeah, each inn can be upgraded. In fact, I'm not sure that the inns are limited to having a single capstone. I have yet to be able to prove or disprove that, but that would be interesting to consider as well. Okay. Hanging on to our relics and baubles still.
And what you can, for wealth no longer has meaning.
Got some extra
Indeed, it ever did.
offensive items down here now in the form of all of these combat items. We got some scrap grenades, Greek fire grenades, crow's feet. That's some really good stuff. Although, again, I am kind of conservative with my relics right now, so I might not necessarily do that.
Experience, however painful, is the greatest teacher of all.
Okay, and then very exciting here. We're going to be able to unlock some new skills for the Abomination. Also curious about his path selection. That would be up here. We can change the path for 18 relics. Let's just take a look at what his path up options are out of curiosity. Unchained, a mobile fighter who supports allies while eroding enemy defenses at range. Fiend, savage beast who deals in and capitalizes on bleed at great personal cost. Or moribund, a rampaging creature fueled by the crushing weight of stress. Cool. Let's try Fiend. I'm curious how that will work. I think I'll spend the relics on that. Nice. Oh, I think these are the stat upgrades that we unlocked from the last guy too. Okay, or from the in upgrade thing. So we can get his Blight move and Death's Door resistance up. Lowers his fatigue limit. Additional move resist piercing, additional Death's Door and bleed resist. More move resist piercing, and then additional DOT stun and move resist per stress. That's pretty sick. Wow. Can I just do that one alone, or do I think I have to do all 5 to get there? Okay. Nice. Alright, I wanted to see what the other skills look like. I'm curious, yeah, okay, that's going to take an entire mastery point to do that, which makes a lot more sense now that they've been so liberal dishing out those mastery points like that. Maul can bleed for 6. Oh my god, that's crazy. Rake, of course, gets the bleed from this path as well. Rage gets Execution 2 on a bleeding target. That's pretty cool. Transform will have additional bleed resist on higher stress levels. Absolution's fairly similar. Backlash and Manacle's fairly similar. Okay. Instinct requires a bleeding target, shuffles the target, and gains stress heals on hit. Nice, that's pretty cool. Okay. You would be great with a bleed team, clearly. Alright, let's go ahead and get Maul and Instinct. Because then we'll have a full set of skills for when he's transformed. And then let's go take a look at what some other unlock options would be for this team. I think I should consider having Retribution on the man-at-arms. I think that makes a lot of sense. And let's see here. The Occultist could probably use some love right now. He's not really utilizing the Stab or the Weakening Curse, so I think I could go Burning Stars here. Let's unlock those skills right away, and then as far as actual upgrades, though, I think Weird Reconstruction makes a lot of sense. Bolster is very nice in that it increases the amount of stress healing from this skill, which is going to be a staple moving forward. We've really needed some stress healing, so it'll be nice to have this. And then let's take a look maybe at an upgraded version of one of these. I was thinking about the Execution 2 on a bleeding target. That would be pretty sick. Oh, I didn't realize he gains stress when the target survives, so he wants to make sure this is going to be a killing blow. And I think the Execution will certainly help us with that. Alright, cool. Back to the Kingdom map. I am nearly certain we're going to be going through the Tundra again to try to get over to this Vestal so we can swap out the Occultist, who is very fatigued right now. So let's do exactly that. Set the route, baby. Let's do it.
Blinding snow, biting winds, and lurking in the furor. Oblivion's spawn.
So we're going to be getting a little buff icon over these regions now as a result of having upgraded the Rich Patrician to allow for this bonus to resistance encounter combat, which is really cool. Also increases the looted in materials, apparently. That's really nice. There we go. You can see a breakdown of the kind of enemies we'll be encountering in this region, too, which is really nice. The cultists, gaunts, pillagers, and creatures in here, so good to know, man. Oh, yeah, lots of new Waners here in the Kingdoms update, too. It's good stuff. Off to the camp we go.
The last remnants of the Great Dissolution cling stubbornly to these icy peaks.
And, yeah, we can afford the stagecoach repairs, but like I said, I think I want to save the baubles for the off chance we actually need them in the Hoarder in the hospital. Our first relationship
Covets what the other has.
comes into play here, unfortunately. It's a negative one, which doesn't surprise me too much given the meltdowns that we were experiencing in the last region there. So these relationship effects will thankfully only last for a single region, but they can often be pretty devastating. Not only do they add a negative effect to a skill, but it also potentially locks in a skill for these characters that they wouldn't have otherwise equipped. Thankfully, while we don't have that many other skills unlocked right now, they're pretty much forced to choose ones that we would have equipped anyway. But that's definitely something you need to consider moving forward. Let's end it. Alright, off we go. So there's our hospital. Just a quick reminder, we're looking for the Hoarder in the hospital as a result of the ambulance designation, so almost certainly want to head there first. I'm curious to see if this mystery note could possibly be a Hoarder as well, so yeah, it looks like they have the same inkling, so let's do it. Oh, a creature den. Oh boy. Okay.
The worst kind of parasite. Opportunists.
Oh boy, we get an implication here. Alright. We're starting to feel the effects of the fatigue here too, man. We got these guys down to 10 and 15% fatigue respectively. I really want to try to find some substitutes for them, and it's becoming very clear to me that that's going to be like a focal point of any successful Kingdoms campaign, is successfully maneuvering your characters around the board and allowing them to be as effective as possible in that regard. Go ahead and take advantage of our upgraded weird reconstruction there. I definitely want to try to get some retribution going on the man-at-arms early on here too, since he's going to be a lot more effective that way. And then I should try to pull the cannon to the front. Unlucky that time. All right. Oh, I forgot to switch his skill. Right, yeah, that was on my... damn, okay. After this fight, we're going to have to remember to swap one of these skills out for the retribution that I unlocked. For now, I guess we could go for a defender here. That'll allow us to protect the occultist. That's what this token means down here, is guarded, which means any attack that targets the occultist will target the man-at-arms instead. Now it definitely makes a lot of sense to me to try to go for a numbers advantage, so let's see if I can kill this guy early on here. Cannon move resist is weirdly low. You would think it's got a high move resist, but no, it's only 30, which is only slightly higher than the companions here. Abyssal Artillery would be a nice skill here were it not for the fact that it adds the stress to the Highwayman as a result of our negative relationship, but I do think it's probably worth it still. Gotta get a kill and clear a block, or clear a block plus token there on the cannon. And now, the sooner that we can kill this guy, the better. Unfortunately, it is not in my best interest to move him forward with the duelist advance, so I think I'm going to go ahead and have to add some stress to Alhazred as well. Which, hey, that worked out pretty well, actually. Got a couple of stress points healed there. The boom going to target the front 3 ranks. Big shot there, unfortunately. Okay, we should be able to finish this guy off pretty easily here. And now that we've got him in the front rank, this is going to be a much easier situation, too. Oh, classic occultist heal. 0 in the bleed. Love to see it. And I think I just start going ahead and firing my own bullets at this guy. And Rampart can give him a stun, potentially, here. Oh, my God, we stunned the cannon. So that's a fun combination of effects there. There is a daze token that is applied from some skills, and if you manage to apply another daze token onto an enemy while they're already dazed, it has the ability to stun them, which was a fairly new addition, if I remember right. It might have been like from one of the more recent updates. Anyway, let's go ahead and pull you back to the front here, buddy. Thank you. And we are just going to have to keep doing this. Sadly, no additional days that time. Although I guess it wouldn't have really mattered in that instance. Now we're probably looking for a demon's pull in case this pull forward doesn't work. Yeah, we want to make sure this thing stays in the front ranks. That's what's nice about fighting the cannon, is if you can manage to keep it in the very front, it's only able to target the front 2 as opposed to being able to target your entire team. So that's usually the idea. Upgraded heal going absolutely crazy on the occultist so far, by the way. Very big fan of that. And it looks like we should be able to stress heal at the end of this one, too. Not to mention topping off our man-at-arms at the end of this one here. Very nice, very nice. I was going to say, if I can get the daze again, I might want to go for the stun, but definitely want to get the bolster on the occultist now. And look at that, a positive pip. I didn't even know we could do those. Let's go.
Sweat-soaked brows, unsteady stances. Exhaustion takes hold.
I'm sorry, you stunned an inanimate object. You'd be upset at that until you looked at the fact that the cannon is is immune to burn damage despite all of the wood. So perhaps things aren't always completely realistic, you know? Give them the benefit of the doubt every now and then. There we go.
Though unpleasant in the extreme, this work is noble and necessary.
I think that might be the first time I haven't gotten a mastery point from combat. It's been very generous with those. Which, again, it makes a lot more sense that that's the case, given the fact that we actually have to spend mastery points to unlock additional skills as well. Oh boy, a creature den is a very interesting consideration here. I'm going to equip these trinkets onto our occultist here, by the way. The Minor Protectorate's going to give him an additional 10% to healing given from skills, and he'll also take the Minor Heat Shield. I wanted to swap these 2 skills off as well. I completely forgot about this, because he's not really using the Sacrificial Stab all that much, given that that skill's not actually usable in the 4th rank. So we're going to have him with the Chaotic Offering now, which is a very interesting skill for the occultist. It does a little bit of damage to them, but also gives them the unchecked power at the start of each turn, which is the only way to use skills like the Burning Stars, which, as you can see, requires the skills performer to have 2 stacks of unchecked power. That also has impacts on skills like the Abyssal Artillery on upgrade, along with the Demon's Pull, so we'll be more than likely looking to upgrade those skills as soon as we can. I also wanted to swap... Oh, I wanted to equip these 2 as well, right? Yeah, we don't have these skills equipped for the Abomination yet. And then I wanted to swap off the Hold the Line, maybe, or probably... let's keep hold the line. We'll have Rampart for that daze, and then put the Retribution there on the Man-at-Arms as well. Good stuff. And I don't know about this creature den, man. This is seeming like a sketchy idea, but I think we need the help. Let's try it. Creature dens. A nasty sort. So this is a unique encounter in which you will be facing 2 waves of enemies. We'll have our initial set, the 2 worms and the 2 spiders here. And then once we've defeated all 4 of them, an additional set of 4 new creature den enemies will appear. Big rewards from this place, but is also, as you might imagine, pretty difficult to clear. Tracking shot actually going to be a particularly helpful skill to have here, though. It's going to be really effective at clearing the dodge off these spiders. And I'm thinking we probably want to go beast mode here. Especially while we have the bolster and the Man-at-Arms, we should be able to actually address the stress a lot easier that way. And now we can use our upgraded Rage ability, which will allow us to heal for 2 stress should we land a killing blow. Unfortunately, if I do this, it leaves a corpse for these guys, and these guys love eating corpses to get a little stronger, so it may not be in my best interest to do that yet. Let's go ahead and just maul here. I think we want to try to kill the worms first. And it looks like that's going to be a fairly easy task. Now, unfortunately, we did give up our Plague Doctor a little earlier, meaning that we've lost our DOT removal ability. Gotta be mindful of that as we're going forward here. The fact that this guy is bleeding out, actually, you know, it makes it a little less likely that the spider's corpse gets munched.
A promising development.
Let's even try to make damn sure that this second one's gonna go down as well. We can also just clear the corpse, actually. That's another nice perk to the Demon's Pull ability, actually, is corpse clearing.
A brilliant conclusion.
In situations like that, it's pretty damn handy. Nice dodge off the blind there as well, and thankfully this guy's going to be dead to the DOT. No stun on the Abomination there either, thankfully. Now we can go ahead and get some stress healing done. And a pip. Let's go. Okay, things are starting to look up a little more here. A bit of a sketchy start. We're figuring it out. Corpse is cleared away, and this is ideal, actually. So this is going to allow us to get a couple of bonus actions triggering the second set of enemies before their turn has begun, so that's pretty sick. And let's see here. I think I'd like another maul on this guy. He has 0 bleed resist, so that seems like a fine approach. And let's go with a little tracking shot maybe on you, although that's not going to be as useful against you, is it? Upgraded tracking shot, in fact, maybe something we should consider. Wow, an incredible effect from the bright light there. It's going to give us a blind token on 3 of the 4 enemies. That's crazy. Only a 10% chance for that to happen on round start. That was very fortunate. See if it makes any difference, but hey, I'll take it. Might get a chance at a daze on this doggo here, actually. It might be worthwhile. We have a bleeding target this time. We could stress heal on hit, I guess, although I could also just do a rage and still just be a rat in a cage. That's a big friggin' rat, dude.
Compassion quiets the howling mind.
Okay, we did unfortunately leave the corpse behind for the Carrion Devourer, so it's more than likely going to have a nice little snack there. I am pretty sure that one of the Abomination skills removes... Oh, no, it doesn't remove crit. It removes a positive token, right? Which, depending on how we're able to progress through this, that might actually be all we need. I'm wondering if I want a Duelist Advance here, too. I don't think I do. I think I'd rather just take the single stress point on Alhaz right here. Oh, boy. Oh, wow. Okay. How's this look? 10 to 14. Not going to get through the death armor here. None of these are really going to do it. I'm thinking I do go ahead and take the transform back down on this one. Get the regen out of that, and then... oh, right, the manacles. Oh, it's only able to target 2nd and 3rd rank. Dang. Okay, well... I doubt I've got the damage here, but... yeah, think it's probably best to just go ahead and take the focus shot there. Alright, good enough, good enough. Miss it? Alright, he's gonna need some help. We knew he was bolstering again anyway, so it's not a big deal. Hopefully the heal's nice. Not really. I'll take a pip out of it, though. That's actually been a really nice part of the last couple of regions here, is we've been dramatically improving our relationship situation, which was in dire need of improvements, so happy about that. Bolster healing for 4 stress is always a very satisfying sequence, too. Nothing else, I can appreciate that. Yeah, let's go ahead and just take a chance here, I suppose. We're more than likely just going to go ahead and stress heal the Abomination by the end of this, too.
Sweat-soaked brows, unsteady stances. Exhaustion takes hold.
Yeah, this team just feels a lot more complete. This just feels like the kind of stuff we needed in the previous few fights, so nice to see it working out pretty well.
And carelessness. Hallmarks of the unprepared.
Definitely should be going for the tracking shot here. I'm not sure why I didn't decide to do that. That would have been a great way to remove the dodge on all these guys. We're getting there anyway, though, I guess. Oh, can't quite get there. Okay, I haven't used the Chaotic Offering yet either. I don't think I really need it right now, though. I'll just take some chances.
An opportunity.
I completely forgot this guy had Lethal Feint, which is going to be a nice quirk to give him some additional crit tokens, but only on miss. Which, certainly hoping not to miss too many more of these here. Here we go. I probably hold off on one more turn for the Abomination self-stress heal, and then I'm hoping I can get the Highwayman down to 3 or so by the end of this one, too. Although he's probably just going to go ahead and go for this, I'd say. That sound is still so satisfying. I know it's a negative thing, but I just really like the way that Duelist Advance Miss sounds. Alright, that'll work. Honestly, a great result from a creature den there. I'm very pleased with this outcome. I'll take a free pip at the end there, too. Let's go. Alright. We'll see what kind of loot the creature den provides here in Kingdoms as well.
In the extreme.
Ah, it's all the same. Okay.
This work is noble and necessary.
I was hoping maybe a couple bonus in materials, but that'll do. Okay, so we definitely want to go for the hospital here, reminding ourselves of our primary objective, the ambulance designation. So if anywhere were to be a relevant node, one would have to assume this would be it.
You hope to heal, you have chosen wisely.
We have 76 relics, 52 baubles. Very hopeful that we're going to be able to progress the quest here. Let's find out.
She weeps for the fallen and knows she will join them soon enough.
Oh, very interesting. You can spend baubles at a field hospital to remove fatigue. That's awesome. Okay, cool. We can still remove negative quirks here as well. In fact, maybe get rid of Terrified on you, buddy. That seems like a decent idea. I'll also check in on the pharmacy. So it looks like we did get this. Exhausted but determined, they stand ready to assist where they are needed most. So I don't know if that's enough. It says 2 out of 4 there, so I'm wondering if there's maybe 2 more that we're supposed to find at the Hoarder or something like that. Looking around as far as things that we could buy from this provisioner. I suppose salves are probably a good idea. Let's go ahead and grab a couple of those.
The odds of illness are high. Best to be prepared.
I am going to get rid of the fatigue on the Abomination because I just want to keep them around as much as possible. And I think Alhazard's going to get replaced soon. Highwayman could probably stand to have the fatigue removed as well. That's cool. I like that. Okay. Good enough. There we go. Not looking like we're going to be able to get to the Hoarder in this region. But I suppose we'll see whether or not the healers, the 2 healers alone, are going to provide us the means to the next step in the process. Got our first loathing there as well, which... Or sorry, no loathing here, is there? Yeah, that was just hazardous. Okay, so that lost us the shields on the stagecoach. Yeah, I don't think loathing is actually a factor in the Kingdoms mode, which is interesting. Buddy, I want to take this fight, but I really don't want to... I really don't want to take that relationship hit. I don't think we can do it. Oh my god, they're at 0. That's crazy. No, I didn't end up removing Terrified. I might even leave Dismas on the bench soon here, too, especially considering this relationship situation with the Occultist. Although I guess the Occultist is going to go on the bench, too, isn't he? So that doesn't really matter as much. Well, at any rate, made it to camp here. Let's see how things have progressed on the overworld. Yeah, I guess the loathing wouldn't really work here, would it? That does make sense.
These crumbling ruins may yet have some shelter to offer.
Yo! We found the unnatural owlet scavenged from the ruins around the campsite. That's pretty cool. So, pets are a fun little feature in the game. Normally, you're able to just choose a pet at the start of each Confessions run, but it looks like this is the way that we discover them here in Kingdoms, which is pretty cool.
Dig deep. Find the metal to meet this day's demands.
The open road. It's a good day to be on the road, according to Conveyance Guild members departing this morning. The weather forecast is fair, and all the liveries and coaches are reporting on-time arrivals. Despite this favorable outlook, rumors of a transportation price hike continue to circulate. The Shroud has less hazardous and rough patch routes as a result. Okay. As time progresses, the enemy activity will get more and more dangerous, represented by Escalation, which starts at 1 and advances to 2 and 3 as shown on the timeline, which is right over here. So you can see we're currently... Oh, here, I'm blocking the way, aren't I? You can see we are on day 4, as well as up there, of course. You can see the current event by clicking on that one. Oh, you can pass the day as well. Interesting. And then there's our Escalation surges, and then finally our overrun date down there. Right. So we're still trying to get over here to the Forgotten Home. And I think I'm just now realizing it looks like this symbol here may be the amount of days I have to reach this place before it goes fully under siege. So clearly we're going to want to go over there.
Trenches and tents. The front lines of a war that was never fought.
And it looks like the healers are still waiting to be delivered elsewhere, so we'll keep working on that. Cannot equip the owlet here at the camp either, unfortunately, but what we can do is swap out our occultist, who is in much need of rest, for our Vestal.
Relief for those taxed by the hardships of our campaign.
Alright, cool. For sighting of Junia here, who thankfully is going to be pretty well suited to that 4th rank at the moment. Works for me. Let's get these combat items equipped on these guys as well. Just in case. And I suppose that's pretty much going to do it. Not really much else to do in the camp. So, off we go. Still looking for a Watchtower for that rumor deliverable. Hopefully we'll get luckier here. And I definitely still feel like I should go for a Hoarder if I can. Because I'm not quite sure we're done with the ambulance thing. The stagecoach item.
War. Rewards only. Resignation.
We've got a lair here as well, which is very interesting. Huh. Well, I definitely don't feel like we have a team that could kill the generals, so that just seems like a bad idea. Let's maybe avoid that. The lair normally represents an opportunity for a boss fight, which, as you can see, rewards a trophy, which you can equip on the stagecoach and often get very strong benefits from. But probably not wise for us to do that right now. There's our Hoarder. Definitely going to be heading for that one. Yeah, if we had the occultist with a plague doctor or something like that here, that'd be a pretty strong consideration, but I don't think these guys are quite ready for that. Alright, Vestal in here now. Let's go ahead and get a Fortitude up front. And let's bring these guys to the front, too. It's a party, y'all. Come on up. We can finally get our Wicked Slice going again, which feels good. And definitely going to need to be bolstering here. I really should have gotten rid of Terrified. I don't know why I left that, man. I guess I wanted to try to be more conservative with the relics and baubles, but that was probably worth the cost. Nice dodge. Hell yeah. Consecration of Fortitude, a skill unique to the Vestal that is going to grant a 50% chance for a dodge or block token to the hero in this rank on turn start. That bonus 20% damage, man, you really feel it. It's nice. That does make me a little more worried about how Escalation is going to impact us moving forward, but certainly enjoying the benefits for now. Weaken on the Carve the Toy that time. I'm definitely anticipating another stress point added soon here. I think I want to just keep him untransformed for now. Judgment's fine there, I guess. Another positive pip. Love to see it. Let's keep slicing.
A master stroke.
Crits for a stress heal is fantastic as well. Okay. This team already feeling so much better, so much more capable than what we've been working with up to this point. Really liking this a lot. Hell, I'm wondering if maybe we could have even actually considered that general fight. Certainly going to do this at least. He's feeling a lot better. We'll get another bolster out there too. Seems worth it. Keep our folks in fine shape here, man. Good job of doing so. That'll do it. See ya. And another pip. Okay, now we're talking. Starting to figure this out. Alright, let's get to that Hoarder. Slime mold, yum yum. Oh, I guess, man, I haven't really thought about it. We haven't had any food in a couple of these campsites, have we? We should try to find more of that. I bet things like the flapjacks and the stew pot are going to go crazy in Kingdoms mode. Oh, speaking of food, yeah, let's go ahead and grab some here, absolutely. Never been one to turn down a meal. Yummy, my favorite. Gimme, gimme, gimme. Tasty slime mold.
At least it should be.
Gotta hit the left path here to try to get to the Hoarder. Not gonna be able to hit a Watchtower this time, I guess, but we are gonna reach the inn. Which, again, under siege, so we gotta anticipate they're gonna be combating some Beastmen by the time we get there. It's very fun to have all of the different enemies along with, like, the main module enemies, too. Makes them feel even cooler. Oh, jeez, dude. This highwayman. It's been so disagreeable this whole time. I do think we need to take this combat. I think we need some more in materials. If we didn't already have incentive for combat with the mastery points, those in materials have certainly given it to me, man. Okie dokie. Concentration of Fortitude up front again. We have the very unfortunate enemy combo of the Drummer and the Arbalist this time around.
Observe the subject carefully, and you will discover its weaknesses.
And we're about to find out why that is. Oh, right, yeah, of course they have all the move resist this time as well. I might be able to daze him, which could present us an opportunity to deal with the damage prior to his volley. Let's see. Hey, there we go. All right, I guess you're not going to see why he's bad. Just imagine hell. And be grateful that we don't have to experience it. Yeah, let's see here. Not going to be pulling these guys, so... Illumination doesn't really do anything, does it? Yeah. Send it. This mode really looks like what I had hoped DD2 would be. Very nice. Yeah, I had anticipated that as we were looking at what this, or as we were like kind of speculating what this mode actually would be. And of the little that I have experienced of it so far, it does feel like exactly that, like the kind of DD2 that maybe a lot of folks were clamoring for, where you get to use the whole. It's like it's basically a combination. It's DD 1.5. In the best possible way. I'm here for it. I'm still in, like, ambassador mode right now, but I'm really looking forward to sinking my teeth more into this later today and over the next few weeks. Alright. Get out of here, buddy. Yeah, really, like, trying to figure out the best strategies, like, the best utilization of characters. Like, there's clearly a lot to this, and it's very exciting. And like I mentioned, too, like, the simple matter of there being these kind of, like, quests to undertake again, which I really hope is, like, a consistent thing through this, and I assume it will be. Death before dishonor, by the way. That's what the drummer does when he's the only enemy left.
So unpleasant in the extreme. This work is noble and necessary.
Usually not wise to allow that to happen, but unavoidable sometimes. So we have found the Hoarder here, which sadly, our friends seem to disagree on going this route, but hopefully this is actually going to provide what we need. It was another safe road, at least. As you can see on the map, there's no obstruction between these two nodes, so we go through unimpeded. Hey, there we go, nice. Ah, it was the medical supplies. Okay, cool. So we did actually need to go to the Hoarder here. Good. Glad we did so. Oh, we have another rumor. This one looking like it might be an occultist encounter. Or sorry, cultist encounter. Heard the howling, got scared, ditched everything in the hollow tree. Oh, maybe a creature den. This stuff is really interesting. Dude, I'm so happy this is a thing. Because I was basically asking for exactly this. Is to be able to find some sort of deliverable that encourages you to go a certain route, and then you get a bigger reward for doing so. That's awesome. That is awesome. Okay. And doesn't look like there's anything else for us to do here. That did acquire the medical supplies. Bandages, ointments, and tinctures. Bulwarks against injury and infection. Sweet. That's fun. Alright, cool. That'll do. Send it. And that'll bring us to the end. How convenient. It looks like we'll have to do our Beastmen encounter prior to getting in here as well, so hopefully we're ready. Here they come, yep. Not getting in there that easy, guys.
A single hero can make the critical difference.
Look at them, man. Look at these enemies. Oh my god. Even just like a basic foot soldier made to look like a total badass. I love it. Alright, send it. I like the consecration of Hoarders dude up front. Still, our stress situation here obviously looking pretty bad. And they know it. That is very sketchy. We want to get a bolster on him immediately. Please and thank you.
Lenity. Grace.
There we go.
Small acts that drive back the dark.
And as much as I'd like to transform here, that is a fairly risky proposition, but I think it actually might be worth it in this situation, so let's let it happen. That's so good. That's so good. I know I've said it like 3 times already, but man, they nailed that. Absolutely nailed not only the transformation of the Abomination, but like the build up to it. The hover over skill effect. Oh, that is so satisfying, man.
The fiend's strength dwindles.
All right. Ooh, nice. Get a stress resist there. That's pretty sick. Okay, and then let's see here. You will have the instinct on the bleed boys if you want, but I'm pretty sure the rake is still a better play here. I'm just wondering if rage may be an interesting option too. I don't think so though. Yeah, let's just do that again. Alright, we're gonna need a bolster up front for sure, and then hopefully a judgment can finish somebody off here, although, yeah, that looks better. That's a Baer optimal though, damn. Okay, okay. This guy might be dead to the Wicked Slice. Oh boy, the minimum damage hits are no fun, but at least the bleed was sufficient. Closing in on the outrage there. Oh boy, speaking of which, I did not realize these guys were already in rage mode. That's no fun. Terrified on the man-at-arms now too, son of a gun. Yeah, I don't know if it was necessarily... I don't think it was worth it to transform here, man. That was a mistake. Oh goodness, the stress. Meltdown, I believe, is going to trigger the transformation for the Abomination here too. Yikes. Oh boy. Oh boy, oh boy. No bolster available this time. I guess this is why we're glad we had the salves, isn't it? He's dead to the bleed here. We do have a vulnerable target in the back, at least. That is the trade-off to their enrage skills, as they do gain some negative tokens immediately afterward. Absolution's good enough here, I suppose. Bring him back up into fighting form. We can prevent the meltdown on that man-at-arms, or sorry, on the highwayman here, thankfully. Get something out of this, and then this guy's toast. Let's go for a nice crit pistol shot back there. I love to see it. Man, they are getting all kinds of enraged. It looks like this guy's going to go with an empowered attack next round, too. Alright, these guys, that enraged stuff, that's tough to deal with, man. Especially with that kind of speed. Oh, my God. Oh, my goodness. Yet another meltdown here. Yikes. No resolute checks so far, either. Lots of negative pips. That's a shame. Alright. Still no bolster. Do your best there, buddy. Oh, right, yeah, of course he's enraged, too. I forgot about that. Uh-oh. Well, that's helpful anyway, okay. Everybody's got to get one. Everybody's got to get a meltdown. That seems fair. Alright, very important to note, the Beastmen are stressful. And that makes a lot of sense, actually. We can do an absolution again here, but I think I'd rather just go ahead and kill this guy if I get the opportunity. There we go. All right, but of course he's just becoming enraged from that. Oh my God, he's just immediately back to the threshold. That's crazy. Have I found the class of enemy that requires me to play to my standard, which is to say, spreading the damage across all enemies at all times? Has that become the intended result? Because I would thrive if that's the case. Ooh, insulating insignia is certainly a helpful trinket here too. Nice, okay. There we go. Man, we really haven't found a lot of trinket help so far, have we? I've hardly even been paying attention to that, honestly.
Humbled by exposure and neglect, this ramshackle inn is a welcome sight, nevertheless.
The provisioner eagerly accepts the congealed slime, which will afford us the mastery point and heal all heroes for 3 stress thanks to the creature den. Big B is now boisterous.
Hardships be damned.
There we go.
The day is upon us.
There we go. Day 5, baby. Alright, so here's a new feature. If the active party is at an inn with an underground travel gate, then the valid destinations for travel include any other underground travel inn. When traveling in this way, the party will journey underground through a special region, which has its own dangers and rewards, which is very fun. Now, I'm not sure we actually have any underground travel routes available now, so we may just have to disregard that for the time being. What we do have here in the Forgotten Home... Oh, no, okay, this one has underground access. I wonder if we can hover over any of the other ones and see whether or not that's the case. I think I might have to find the region. Ah, here we go. So this one has the underground network. This one has underground access. So we could actually go back to the Viscount's pantry, apparently. Oh, and then we could slay Plague Eaters and their champion and end the feast. Interesting. Okay, that's cool. Neat. Alright. Man. This is looking like a lot of fun, dude. I'm so excited about Kingdoms. Got the healers and the medical supplies here, of course. A couple of rumors. Good stuff. Alright. We have reached the conclusion of our Steam store page session, y'all, but I just wanted to give another huge shout out to Red Hook for providing me the opportunity to show off the new Kingdoms update and the Abomination DLC, both of which are available now. The Kingdoms update, of course, a free update pushed. If you own the game, you have Kingdoms now. Congratulations. If you'd like to get the Abomination, that is the new paid DLC, Inhuman Bondgage, which is also available now. There will be links down in the description below. If you're watching over on youtube.com/BaerTaffy, please leave a like on the video if you're watching over on youtube.com/BaerTaffy as well. Really appreciate all the support over there. Thanks for watching. We'll see you for the continuation of this live on Twitch in just a minute over on twitch.tv/BaerTaffy or in the next VOD over on YouTube. I'll see you then.